Hey folks, thanks for checking out this video. Just want to run through the docket launcher kit. It's a kit for solo launching, but the components can do so much more for you. So when you order one of our kits, the components that you're going to get in each kit is going to be this primary cord, which is the longer cord that has loops on both ends of it. Our standard kit has one of these. If you get a deluxe kit, you'll have two of these cords in it. It enables you to put one on each side of the boat in case when you pull up to the launch, one side's busy, you can jump on the other side without having to switch the kit over. Two other items in the kit are these tether loops. These are primarily used for when you're going to be solo launching. So you can make your connection as a slider and the other one to stretch back to a post or a cleat. Also included, you get these two clips and they are going to go onto your tether loops. So it enables you to connect to our main cord. Like that. Our original kits had these clips in them, and we still do have them. Our primary reason that we put these in the kits to start with is we had a lot of people out west saying that the only docks they have O-rings on it, very similar to this here where you didn't have a cleat or a post to connect to, and we felt that this oval ring would make it a little bit easier to make your connections and have it be able to slide through either way. The more we've been doing this now, we're learning that a lot of those docks are getting cleats installed to them, so there's not as many O-rings on the docks anymore. We still have these clips available, so if someone has a dock that they're using often or all the time that just has the O-rings, just please specify in the order that you would like the O-ring, the oval clips on it. We'll put those in there, so we'll have those indefinitely. The other item is this accessory item. Many people will not even need to use this, even though we're going to still include it in every kit so everyone has one. But the main purpose of this here is when you're stretching from that back cleat, if this here doesn't have a large enough gap to push your loop through, what you can do is attach this here to the cleat and you can make a pass-through loop. Every kit that we have, everything is identical in the kit except for this cord, and that's what we measure for. So when you're ordering, the main thing you want to make sure of is that you take a measurement where you'll be connecting up front. You can connect to a front cleat, you can connect to a rail here, and then you're going to run it to your back cleat. And that measurement is what you'll determine which size kit you're going to have. So when you're measuring, if you're going from cleat to cleat, you're going to take the distance, middle of the cleat to the middle of the cleat. On this one here, we're at roughly 152, which for sure is an extra large size. Now, if you're going to attach to a rail instead, this here at our rail, if we're going to connect here, is about 110, 111. That would put you at the large size kit. So once you have your measurement, on the website, you're going to see a chart that looks like this here. And what you're going to look at is the measurement here, like 86 to 106, 106 to 122. And it's going to tell you which size you are, small, medium, large, extra large, and there's one that's typically a pontoon size kit as well. Take, for instance, between the large and extra large, one ends at 122 inches, the next one begins at 122 inches. If you are within 1 or 2 inches of that, say on the smaller side, say you're like 120, 121, right on the borderline, we suggest going up to the next size. And the main reason is the longer the cord that you have, you're going to get a little bit more stretch in it, which may make a difference if you're at a certain dock where you need that little extra stretch, whatever. You can always shorten it up around post. So when you're connecting, what you're going to do is connect from the back cleat. We go up to the front cleat here, and that can be left right on the boat all the time. So if we're going to go from a rail to a cleat, what you're going to want to do is wrap it around the rail, cinch it up, it'll snug it down, that'll be your front anchor point, and then come through to the back cleat on this side here, and you have your connection there. So either way works great for both of them. If you have two choices up front, typically anything that is going to be somewhere within this area is generally your best, just because once the boat sits next to the pier, you still have kind of a flatter side. If you have to go up here like ours has further away, it works perfectly fine. You're just going to have a little bit of a gap of a triangle between the sides and where it's anchored to. And the kit is for solo launching is what we originally had it for, but our components make launching and docking just so easy all the time. The way we have it set up right now, where we're just connected from the cleat to a cleat, that cord can stay on the boat all day long. This here is typically the way you go. If you have someone to help you launch where you don't need this solo launch, all you need to do is the person can get up on the pier, grab the cord, and as the truck starts backing down, they can walk right with it. They can control it from both the front and the back, so it's not going to swing out on you. If they don't want to hold it, you can just put it over a post, you can put it down to a cleat, and it's already hooked up. You don't have to tie off ropes, you don't have to learn how to tie knots. It's right there. You jump back in the boat when it's time to leave, or go out to the water, just leave it like that, and leave it on there all day long. When you get back to the dock at the end of the day, all you do is just jump out of the boat, throw it up over the post, or put it to a cleat, and you're ready to go get your vehicle to load up. So when you're solo launching, you've got it set up here already. You've got the cord from the cleat to the cleat already attached to the boat. The way you set it up then is you put one of your snaps right onto one of the sliding tethers. I've got the other one rigged up already. So you're going to add one of these sliders to the boat between the two cleats or two anchor points. What you're going to do, you've already got this here attached with your slider on it, is you take this loop and pass it from the inside of the boat to the outside of the boat. And then from there, what you do is you make your tether loop connection with this here clip, okay? So you're set up like this right here. This one's through the back cleat, this one here's a slider. You're gonna back it down into the launch to a point where it's close to being ready to float off, but it's not releasing from the trailer yet. Typically, most trailers, you're talking 3/4 the way to almost to the top of the fender if it's a normal grade launch. Once you have it there, now again, this is if you're solo, you're gonna put the vehicle in park, put the emergency brake on so it doesn't slide or transmission lock on you. You come out, you walk the pier, and what you're going to do is you take this rear one, take it and stretch it towards the back. You're going to put it over a post. You can attach it to a cleat down on the deck if you need to. And then the slider loop, what you're going to do is attach it also to another point, whether it's a post or a cleat down on the dock floor. Typically the best is anywhere from, say, midship to the rear part. If it's back here, it's going to be fine. If it's up here, it's going to be fine. If you have a choice, somewhere in this area usually works the best. So you're connected here, and that one's connected to the back. You're going to get back in the vehicle, and as you start backing down slowly, the boat's naturally going to start lifting off the trailer and floating, and it's going to start floating. This here is going to pull it to that rear connection, and as it goes in deeper, this here will be sliding along here as the boat goes in deeper, and it'll end up going here and stopping your momentum, and it'll settle back in, and it's going to sit right next to the dock. From the time you do that, you can go park your vehicle, and your boat's already self-docking. So from there, you get back to the boat, you're on the dock, and all you do then, take and remove your slider connection, remove your rear connection, and then reattach this here to the cleat, and now you can just leave this on the boat all day long. You go do your fishing, go do your boating, you're having your fun. When you get to either any dock on the lake, or you get back to the launch where you came from, all you got to do is just jump out and put this up over the pylon or put it to a cleat, go get your vehicle, you come back down, the boat's ready to go. You don't have to go searching for ropes, you don't have to tie knots, anything, so it makes it really simple. Once you're done with these, if you're solo launching, again, these are primarily going to be if you're solo launching. Once you're done with them, with the actual launch and you're ready to come back to the boat, take them off, bury them. You shouldn't need them the rest of the day. So this accessory item, like I say, most people will probably not need to use it the way they make most cleats now, where there's a large enough gap under here. But if for some reason you've got there's a small gap, or it's really tight, or really, say, a sharp edged one, what you can do is just take and attach this here to the cleat. Simple enough. Wrap it around and just get a lock on it. And what that's going to do is just provide you a pass-through point. So instead of going underneath the cleat that way, what you do is just go from the boat side through, same thing. Take that one, connect your loop here, and instead of going underneath the cleat, you're just going through this accessory ring. There's no load bearing on this, it's just going to be a guide, so as the boat backs down, it's just going to slide through there easily. Once it gets to there, it's going to stop. If your dock only has these O-rings, like we mentioned earlier in the video, and you don't have a post or a cleat to attach one of the tether loops to, what we'll do is make a direct connection to here with the snap clips. As you mentioned also, we originally put these oval ones in for people out west that had nothing but O-rings, and we know that there's been more cleats put on piers since we first started this thing. So if you have only O-rings that you're typically docking at, just in your order specify, send me the oval rings instead of the black ones, the more compact ones. So, but you're going to make the direct connection the same way you would as if we had the tethers on, where you're going to take your primary cord, run it through from the inside out under this back cleat, make your connection with the clip. It's not going to pull through. And then take your second one, that's going to be the slider, and do the same thing right here. So instead of having that loop that's going to slide back and forth, you have a direct connection here. So you back the boat down, again, typically upper third to the top of the fender where it's just about ready to float off. It's not yet. You get out, walk the pier, and what you're going to do is you're going to grab this here rear one and stretch it to one of your O-rings somewhere on further back behind the boat, make a direct connection, so it'll be like this on the O-ring with the back one, and then you'll do the same thing for the slider one. Is you'll take that and you'll find another O-ring that's closer to the boat somewhere in this zone here, make the direct connection, and it'll just slide through it that way instead of having the tether loops. Same way, you back down slowly, that rear one's going to pull it right off the trailer. This one here, as it's sliding rearward, will end up stopping and catching this O-ring, stop your momentum, it'll set it right next to the pier for you. A couple tips when you're backing in is if you have the option of using either side of the dock, using the driver's side is always so much easier because you have a full-size mirror and you can get as close as you can to the dock without having a small mirror trying to tell you that you're further away or closer than you really think you are. The other thing, once you get it back down into the launch, is a tip is just to angle the rear end away from the dock a little bit with the boat, so when it comes off, and that's whether you're using this or you're not using this, that way when it comes off, it at least angles out from the dock a bit instead of running into the dock as it comes off of the trailer. The other tip is once you have everything hooked up, you have the slider hooked to a post, you have the back one hooked to a post, you're about ready to float off, is back in slow. Let the cords do the work, let that one pull it right off of the trailer for you, and it'll be a nice easy launch. It'll put it down, it'll clear the trailer, you go park the vehicle, and you're ready to go.